Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular meeting of Freeport City Council this Monday, December 18, 2023 at 6 p.m. I will declare that a quorum is present, that all notices have been legally posted pursuant to the Opens Meetings Act. And at this time, I would ask Preacher Rosso to please lead us in the invocation and pledges of allegiance.
Let's pray. Gracious Father, we thank you for this opportunity you've given us to come together. We ask you, Lord, that you would bless everyone under the sound of my voice, even those that's online. Lord, we ask you to bless this city, bless this council. Lord, give us some right standing, give us the right mind. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time in our agenda, we have citizen comments, and at this time, I would ask Desiree Pearson to please come up.
Okay, Desiree Pearson, Front Street, Freeport. I heard a horrible thing yesterday at a city town hall, not city, but town hall meeting. Jeff Pena, always has names for everybody, but this one kind of went too far. About the police chief, he said, I thought that we paid her allowance for uniforms, and how in the hell can she look like and dress like that? He's gone too far. He needs to be stopped.
I never said that.
Okay.
Councilman Pena, please stop. Please.
Yeah, my owner.
Please.
Definitely step up on that
Excuse
one.
me, sir. Please stop.
Okay, I just
Go ahead, ma'am.
had to say that. I mean, that's gone too far.
I'd like to see that video. I'd like to see that
Councilman
video.
Pena, please, sir. Mrs. Oldham?
Good evening. I'm Melanie Oldham at 1206 West Broad Street here in Freeport. Again, as many of y'all know, I've been a healthcare professional for 40 years. So recently I got the honor of going to Dubai on a healthcare professionals team at the United Nations COP28, and I just got back. But I and others have been watching all the city council meetings and kind of kept up with everything. But right before I went to Dubai, I made some public information requests, which I've gotten back. One of them, the first thing I want to address, which I spoke briefly to Mr. Petty about before I went to Dubai, is I made a request for all the air quality reports that Mr. Kelty and Mr. Petty requested be done on the City Hall. And the first few focused, of course, on floors 1 and 2, and then they were done by a pretty well-known industrial hygienist. This third one, which I shared the report with Ms. Roman today, was done by, I don't know, his credentials are he's a mold remediation specialist. And he only tested 5 places up on the whole 3rd floor, and he did what he called a walk-through inspection for mold, even though people have told me that they have mold on their walls in their offices up there. But what I'm asking, Mayor, City Council, all of you, please, tomorrow this week, do a walkthrough of our current City Hall. When you walk in and look to the left when you're waiting for the elevator, the trash and everything, any developer, somebody that came to our city and looked over to the left, put up a curtain or something on the 1st floor. But when I read through these reports, the most dangerous places for your employees, the public to be, is on the 3rd floor in that lobby, outside those elevators where what has not been remediated, which is there has been some mold remediated, but not the asbestos. When people, they're in the danger zone when they're going up there to pay their water bills and getting off that elevator, because that stuff is still coming up the stairway and the elevator shaft every day. So as a healthcare professional, and I talked to Ms. Roman, has a lot of health background, I hope that Mr. Petty and all of you do a tour, look at these reports. And there's so many options of where those 20 employees could be moved to immediately, just to be safe, temporarily move them, the river place, whatever. But anyway, there's so much focus on, this with the 345K, and I can't figure out what happened. But the bottom line is, because very little remediation has been done in that city hall, your employees are sick or getting sicker, having to work because they don't want to lose their jobs. They're going to work just because they want to keep their jobs and their pensions. So, second of all, I did a request about what the city process was for wiring money, and I got a whole report back about your all's P-card system, where all the department heads have a P-card, a special credit card, and they have a limit, but they can go to the city manager and say, hey, I need this special thing, I need to go over this limit, and the city manager can okay that. But then, I forget, ACH, whatever the term is, that the financial office has been working on for a while, that they're going to present to you guys, is in the process. That's actually what was used for the wiring, I understand, of that 345K. But the problem is there's no built-in internal audit oversight checklist. That's why it happened. And I think you all have a chance to put that oversight in. The last two audits that the city and the EDC has gotten, the auditors say over and over, you need to improve your internal auditing system, because that's why some pretty questionable things happen in 3 departments in the city and with the EDC.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyway,
Nicole?
last thing is, please don't spend any more money on the
Thank you.
lawsuit, $160,000,
Thank you.
it's too much.
Thank you, ma'am. Nicole Morales, please.
Nicole Morales, 2002 North Avenue G. I'm very upset. Somebody right here, which is inappropriate, giving this to all the people here. I know exactly where it comes from. Shame on you, Jeff Pena.
What's been given out.
And there's the lady right there that was,
Passed them out. I did.
yeah, she did.
I did.
That is so rude and so unprofessional, and I know exactly where the hell that stuff comes from. Why do we keep allowing this person to continue to badger our city employees? I'm upset, yes, I'm nervous, and you know how I get when I get upset. It upsets me that we continue letting this monster, pick on our citizens, pick on our city. I don't know where the hell he came from, but he needs to go back where the hell he came from. He's got mommy issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Manning Rollerson.
Let's note everything for the record. Number one, I elected Councilman Pena to work for the cities of
Can you
Freeport.
tell us who you are, please,
My
sir?
name is Manny Roberson.
Thank
I live at 126 West 6th Street in this broken down city of Freeport, Texas. Okay? Number one, you need to resign. $345,000. You knew since June. You covered it up. Just like you did with Troy Greenwich. These people back here that's yah-yahing back here. And the newspaper have the audacity to say that the people are complaining. We have a right to complain. We invested $1 billion in this city and there's no return, Mr. Bass. Over the 4 decades, we invested $1 billion in abatements. And the newspaper got the audacity to say we won it. Yes, we're whining because we have the right to whine. We lost our whole homes over on the East End by the same people that sit up in our face and lie to us and got the audacity to get up there and pray to God. You're going to burn in hell, brother.
Now, Manning, let me just tell you this, please, sir. Please, sir, can you just tone it down some?
No,
Then you may continue.
I'm upset. I live in a city where on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I had to consume the water that I can't even get a test result from. You give me the wrong results. Vital Water gave me the wrong results. My family ended up at the hospital, and you got the audacity to tell me to hold on. I All y'all gonna burn in the hell. You're sitting there praying in front of God. And you're mistreating the people and you're lying and deceiving them. It's just the truth. And then you have the audacity to go stand in front of 35 preachers to talk about me. I tell them in their face, Reverend Rossall. That's just straight up, and I can address every last one of y'all. Mr. Barnes, we trusted you. We trusted you. And you stood right there and let this happen on your watch. You need to resign because it happened with you. And every last one of y'all that sit there in conspiracy to do it, you, because there's conflict of interest with him. That's conspiracy. That's what it is. And we need independent investigation in the city because that lawyer is going to do the same thing, fight the case, and then drop it like he did with the guy doggone Marino. Y'all know what y'all doing to the citizens of Freeport, but you don't care. We invested $1 billion and I want my return. I want to see my return. All of y'all need to resign.
Thanks, sir. Sam Reyna.
Mayor, Council,
Yes, sir.
good evening.
Good evening.
I don't have that much energy. The last two persons up here, but they have plenty of energy. I ain't got that kind of energy. But you came? I like your sweater.
Thanks, sir.
I'm just here to thank you guys for what y'all done Wednesday. I appreciate it. It's something that had to be done. And I know that for some of you, it was a hard decision to make. But the right decisions are always the hardest decisions to make. And I know some of you were found guilty. But it needed to happen. It was way overdue. Thank you. Oh, by the way, Lance Petty is the right person to lead the city as city manager. He's a people's person. There's a lot of people that think a lot of him. And he knows his infrastructure. So let's keep him in as city manager. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Miss Patty Richardson.
Good evening. I'm Patty Richardson. I live at 21 North Avenue A. And I'm just going to read directly, because it took me a long time to put all this together so I could cover it all, what I feel, what I think. And I'm speaking for a lot of people in this room because a lot of people have come to me and helped me put this together. Kelty and Kathy have fiduciary duty responsibility to the city as to their primary roles. Kelty was fired for violating the contracts and the protocols, no performance bonds, no work permits. Isa failed to do her job as a city officer of the city, which is unlike regular city employees. Actual executive privilege requirements to perform in such a role. City secretary also has the same official title as the city manager. They're both equally important. Since Kelty was terminated with the already documented evidence and admissions, the CFO is also deserving of the same termination. No investigation needed for these two. An investigation into what the city staff else knew, which is needed as there may be criminal and intent discovered. Until it is completed, the citizens can't trust City Hall, and the demand that council not delay an order of independent investigation and hire a third-party accounting firm until a new CFO is selected by full-time city manager. That's all of that I'm going to say. On the fire station, the sub-fire station, that you guys are talking about doing. This is the absolute worst time for any of you guys to be making decisions on spending millions of dollars on new construction. Our council right now is 100% unstable, and y'all literally covered for Kelty and Easel and Covarrubias, and still think you should be allowed to make more million-dollar mistakes after you've all approved the one with Covarrubias. We need to have a procurement process and a committee made up of residents to restore the trust in the bidding process to avoid another Kelty, Easel, Covarrubias fiasco.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Sacamano?
James Sacramento, 1507 West 10th Street. I just wanted to say thank you for the wonderful senior citizens Christmas party today at River Place. It was packed, full house, it was beautiful, everybody enjoyed it. So I wanted to say thanks to the city, police department, the fire people, the EMS, senior citizens commission, and everybody who was involved with it. It was very, very, very nice and very much appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ron Bachman?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm Ron Bachman, live at 96 Dalton Lane. Freeport.
Good evening, sir.
And here on a lighter note, I want to recognize our mayor. He did a great job at the symphony concert this last Saturday. There was a fundraiser going on that didn't get publicized very well, but our gal on the board that heads up most of the fundraising had an idea, and she talked to our mayor and the Lake Jackson mayor and the Clute mayor, and to both throwing their hats in the ring to see who could raise the most money just to help the symphony get through the rest of this season. And last number I heard is we'd raise somewhere well above $5,000. But the reason I'm here tonight is because Mayor Bass's name raised the most. So he got the honor of directing the symphony on one of our Christmas classic sleigh bells. And we've had guest conductors for that in years past, but I got to tell you, he's the best one I've seen. You know that.
Thank you, sir.
And the end result was that Freeport got some good press right there in front of the huge crowd we had there Saturday night, biggest we've seen since COVID. And, Freeport came away with the big recognition. And the other mayors, they were there too, but they were banished to the percussion section. But they did a good job too. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, with that, we'll get into our presentation announcements. Presentation for Employee of the Month for the month of November 2023, Lance Petty.
Thank you, Mayor. As you all know, this is for the Employee of the Month. It's for the individuals that do exceptional work throughout the month. Their hard teamwork, dedication to the city. This guy doesn't really need an introduction. I know ever since I've been here, this guy, his work ethic is just unbelievable. I can ask him to do anything and he's there. No questions asked, no complaints or anything else. So Eddie Norris, come on up. Rudy, you want to tell him to come up?
Ready to go, Eddie. Ready to go.
All right, so I'm going to read a little something for you. Eddie, you ready? All right, I'm writing this to nominate Eddie Norris for Employee of the Month. Mr. Norris is an excellent employee and a huge asset to the Department of Public Works. Mr. Norris is an experienced maintenance technician on the Public Works team and consistently meets established deadlines and milestones day in and day out. Although Eddie is responsible for his own daily tasks, he can often be found assisting other coworkers with their tasks. Eddie communicates effectively with all of his coworkers, from management to new hire employees. Eddie's continued efforts not only benefit the Department of Public Works, but they also set an example of his coworkers. Eddie continues to provide customer service skills at a level above expectations. When you look at the criteria for Employee of the Month, Eddie meets all 6 categories required for this nomination: customer service, responsibility, teamwork, innovation, initiative, and excellence in quality. Thank you, Eddie.
There you go, Eddie. Eddie's one of those unsung heroes. He won't talk back, but he will certainly get out and get the job done. Thank you, Eddie. Number 2, we have consideration of possible action on approval of City Council meeting minutes from December 4, 2023 and December 13, 2023. But Carla Clark, you want to come up and say a few things?
Carter Clark, 411 Sailfish. I just need to make a correction to my statement in the minutes for the last meeting. I stated in there that the $4 million was going back into the port, from which now, after I've reviewed it, there's only $1.2 million going into the lift station for the port, and the remainder of those funds are going into the O.A. Fleming demolition infrastructure and that type of thing.
Yes,
I just wanted to make a note that that was incorrect as I said it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, is there a motion on item number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Councilman Kane. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a second from Councilman Matamoros. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried unanimously, 5-0. Item number 3, consideration and possible action awarding bid proposal, Fire Station Number 2 Apparatus Building, Kathy Ezell or Chief. All right, Chief Motley.
Mayor and Council, we're here to discuss the proposal here. Actually, it has Kathy's name because the way that Civic Plus had to be opened up for both of us to enter information, so it would show my name for presentation on this tonight.
All right, sir.
We had went out for bids on this project. This is the 3rd time bidding this. The last project, we had one company looking at bidding it, but their supplier did not get the bid in time for them to finish up. So as staff, going through this the 3rd process on the RFP and presenting it for a bid process, we're recommending the City Council to approve the bid for M2 Steel Systems for Fire Station Apparatus Building. That includes the driveway approach and the generator pad for the property at $223,000 and $223,003 to award them the bid on this agreement. Also, you'll notice in the council memorandum provided additional information, the reason why this is being developed, because FM 1495 is expected to be closed for 3 years, and this is preparation for that when that takes place. Also want to point out to you, you'll see, and I believe it's going to be I included the council, the bid packet, also included my project estimates as well. This project originally was for buildings. It did not include infrastructure to go with it, so you'll be being presented from finance a budget amendment later tonight. I believe it's item number 11 or 12, but I just want to put that in front of you so you're aware of that as well. So we make a recommendation to accept M2 Steel Systems bid proposal at this time.
Chief, when will this start if it's so approved tonight?
Possibly as soon as it goes through permitting and everything, and get that back from them, we're looking at January, February. Modular building just approved out of permitting at this time.
And what is the completion time?
I don't have an exact answer for you until I get the drawings in to tell you, hey, we're going to be done by March, we're going to be done by April or May, so.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Council, have any questions for Chief Motley on item number 3?
Chief, this is showing that it's $160,000 over budget. A majority of that, I assume, is from the extra infrastructure
Yes.
needed.
If we'll go back in the back on my estimates and showing you everything. We're looking at $44,000 just in driveway culverts, extending water supply to the property, because this, bring it to compliant is being required that the main building be sprinkled, so a minimum 6-inch water supply. Electricity running from the pole to the structure was not in that proposal that was put together in the budget. So you're looking at $30,000 there easy. So that's where some of these costs come in at, and then engineering and permitting as well, or inspection process. Make sure we're compliant for certificate occupancy when we finish. The last page of the memorandum has the whole breakdown of everything.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Chief Motley? Yes, sir. Any further questions for Chief Motley?
I have a couple of questions, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Chief, are any of the contractors, or for that matter, in this particular case, N2 Steel Systems, are they local? And were any of the bidders local?
Most local bidders, when they see this RFP packet, the things that are required, performance bonds, shied away from it. I approached Apex and Richwood, another gentleman that we used on our existing building to add on. I approached him as well, but they've all pretty much have said, we don't go into things like that. We stay on the private side. We reached out to Mueller Building Company, which provides metal and all that, a list of their contractors, emailed everyone in the RFP, and no response. So M2 Steel System has built here locally. They built the Volkswagen facility. I understand they have another local facility they're going to be building here shortly in the Freeport area. Chris Morgan, one of the owners of the company, has been responsive and even in conversation, understands municipal and county procurement processes as well. And if you look in there too, I wrote the interview notes off of his references to show how well they're experienced in that arena as well. But no, there's been no local response to the RFP, and it's been pushed locally as well.
And so we show that there was a history of build of, I guess, experience here locally or regionally?
Regionally, yes, sir. A lot of his experience reference that he looked at, you're looking at from 19 to 15 years of knowing him or his business partner. One of the key things that kind of stood out was he just didn't supply just 3 to 5 year people. These were people that have other businesses in other states that had used this erection company to put their facilities together, and it even brought it in shorter time periods and under budget for that region as well.
All right. Second question I have here is it M2 or N2? I'm looking at my notes here. I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda printed out in front of me.
M2 Steel Systems.
Okay. My question is, I just didn't want to mispronounce her name, but my question is, are they bonded? Have we verified their bond? Because we just went through this.
That was done before the contract is signed. That's the next step.
Okay, will we be able to get a copy of that contract before it's signed and executed? Because I know the last time
yes,
we approved the moving forward of Olson & Olson drafting up the contract, but we never saw the contract as it relates to Covarrubias. And it's a hot topic now, so there's a lot of distrust and a lot of suspicion, a lot of questions. And so I want to make sure that those questions are asked here at the outset.
it's understood. Just like I do our debris contractor, it's presented to legal counsel, reviewed, and whatever's requested after that, we meet the procurement rules at that point.
I just want to make sure that I'll make mention of it here now, that their bond is verified, that their financial standing is also vetted, and that the contract also has callback provisions as well as performance provisions, and last but not least, recourse provisions. I think we talked about that. I spoke with the mayor about that previously. It'll be something that we want to make note of here, Mr. Olson, that we have the clawback provisions as well as the recourse provisions.
I usually read those contracts in detail and make sure that their venue is in Missouri County, and then run it back to legal at that point, and then back and forth.
And then so the last question I have is the budget being amended here. So what we were originally supposed to approve was what, 63,000? And then it's a bump of 160K?
This project on this part is $223,000, but when you look at adding driveways in that was not budgeted, water supply, electrician, and supplies to tie the buildings in, those things were not budgeted for this project at all.
Yeah, that's
Strictly building costs, that's it.
Yeah, and so what was the amount that was budgeted on the city budget for this?
$426,095.
Yes.
And so will this fall below that, 426, when it's all said and done?
As far as this building itself, the
Start to
building itself will, but not, the driveway takes it above that.
When I talk about this building, I talk about its interior and exterior. It's just like a house. When I talk about a house, interior, exterior means the driveway, means the curb, means the landscaping. And so I'm curious, what, when it's all said and done, we're going to end up investing into this particular project?
Almost $582,000.
Yeah, it's on page 37 in the packet. I supplied everything, broke down in the whole thing.
It's going to be almost $160,000 over budget.
Yeah, this is why I'm asking these questions, because, you know, we make our best guess on this, and I'm sure who do we have to actually give the original estimate?
The original estimate was just for one building only with no engine base.
Well,
And then we
what
had
I
the
mean
price.
is, who actually developed the budget for that project that was given to council at the $426?
That was the city manager.
City manager? No further questions. Thank you, sir.
Sir, any further?
Any further questions for Chief Motley? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Odom. Well, hold on now, let me see. You're out of time, Ms. Odom, sorry.
I want to talk about the company Next Chance, M2 Steel.
Okay, very good. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Chief Motley?
Yes, I have just one question. Chief, is the existing fire station still going to be standing, and we're building this next to it or behind it? I'm just trying to...
This is on Gulf Boulevard, but being moved with this facility closer to the asphalt parking lot there, the baseball field. There'll be further discussion later in next year's budget or with the city manager of what to do with that building to demo it down. One of the discussions is, do we look at grant writing? If the structure stays boarded up, can they replace it as is and move forward with that? So that's a discussion with city administration at that point. So it will not be used by us. Parks has completely moved out of it. In the end, it will be boarded up. It'll be secure that the public can't access or do any damage to the building at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Got some unknown questions or answers for you at this time.
Mayor, I have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask, I'm very curious what Ms. Oldham had to say, so if I'm asking the chief another question, can we ask a resident a question? If they seem to present that they have some meaningful information for the topic?
If they have time to speak, they can, but she's out of time.
If we were asking for...
No, sir.
I'm trying.
I'm glad.
Yeah, not enough.
Okay.
The last question here was, were there any grants that were pursued to help facilitate the financing of this particular project, Chief?
There hasn't been any grants on the market that I'm aware of. I'm aware of that recently General Land Office will be something to approach, but they're looking at permanent structures and a lot bigger things. I saw that in our newsletter when we announced our award of the infrastructure on our groundwater storage and all that, I believe, on South Avenue F. So we have been exploring that to look at it, but nothing in that realm. There's some movement in Congress, but we're still waiting for that to move forward. The last time that happened was 10 years ago, and it died on the floor.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thanks, sir. And what can you tell us about M2 Steel?
From what I'm gathering from the references, very reliable, large enough building company that they do anything from 2,000 square feet to 100,000 square feet, aircraft hangars at Intercontinental Airport, to projects out here for Volkswagen. Most of the gentlemen I spoke to own not just their own local company, but even out of state. One of them referenced he had them go to Boise, Idaho, and brought in the job 30% cheaper and finished it in half the day's time frame in 45 versus local was, say, in 90 days. Did a lot of work in the Montgomery County, north side of Harris County area in the school districts. Waller built several projects, maybe not as main, but as the sub. and a lot of them reference understands procurement process of government work as well. So,
All right, thank you, sir.
Mayor, one last question for Mr. Petty, interim city manager here. Mr. Petty, what is your confidence level in this particular project and, for that matter, M2 Steel Systems in moving forward with them?
I'm not familiar with M2 Steel. Mr. Motley did do his vetting on them. It's attached in the documents. I know the overages are from having to put a new water line in to supply, because that road only has a 2-inch on the opposite side and wouldn't supply the fire line. So those are pretty typical overages when you start into a construction project, but from everything that I've read in a short period of time that he's presented, everything looks in order.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, so any further comments or questions for Chief Motley? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the project.
All right, so we have a motion from Councilman Matamoros to approve the bid proposal for Fire Station Number 2 apparatus building. Is there a second?
Mayor, I'll second it.
We have a second from Councilman Pena.
On the condition that we get that contract before we...
Well, there's no condition. It's either a second or no, sir.
Well, I'd like to see if we can revise it.
So are you going to second it or not?
Or can I ask to revise it so that we have the opportunity as a council to review the contract before any monies are dispersed?
Councilman Matamoros?
I will not change my motion.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
Then do you have a second or no second?
I'll second it for now, but I just want to be on record that I'm requesting that there's due diligence done and completed and that the contract is brought back to council. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second by Councilman Pena. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried unanimously 5-0. Thank you, Chief.
thank you, Mayor and Council.
Item number 4, consideration of possible action on the removal of 2 board members and liaison from the Freeport Historical Commission and Main Street Advisory Board. Ms. Anna Silvas.
Ms. Silvas is not here tonight. I'll go ahead and address this one for her.
All right.
Ms. Silvas requests City Council to select replacements for the appointments of Sandra Barbary and Sandra Woodwicky due to attendance. Additionally, staff requests City Council to select a replacement City Council liaison. Currently, the majority of the voting record of City Council liaison regarding Main Street program action items has been to vote against them and has only attended 2 meetings. As a result, the Freeport Historical Commission and Main Street Advisory Board has lost confidence that the current City Council liaison would represent to City Council and the community the direction of the board. This agenda item is aimed at meeting the requirements of standard inclusion, leadership, and organizational capacity, which focuses on inclusive or supporting volunteer base. It is vital to ensure a diverse, balanced, and engaged representation of district and community stakeholders make up the Freeport Historical Commission and Main Street Advisory Board.
Mr. Petty, who is the council liaison for Main Street Advisory Board?
Councilman Pena.
That's me.
Okay. All right. So their request is to remove 2 board members and to ask us to remove Mr. Pena, Councilman Pena, from the council liaison. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do I have a motion to do that?
Mayor, I'll make the motion.
All right. I have a motion from Councilman Kane. Is there a second?
And I'll second that motion.
I have a second from Councilman Matamoros. Councilman Pena, do you have anything you want to say?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'd like to state that I've actually been quite busy trying to hold the City Hall accountable for other major infractions, as was recorded in last special meeting, number 1. But number 2, Main Street is very important to me. Downtown is very important to me. The city of Freeport is important to me. I can tell you this, that I wish somebody would have reached out to me and said specifically, hey, we'd like for you to come speak with us about these issues here, even outside of those particular meetings. And, we all have busy schedules. I'll just say this, that in addition to my participation level of Main Street Board, there was statements made early on that was really trying to limit the participation level of the liaison, and I think that that was actually politically motivated by the former city manager. And so now that that particular role has been vacated, I think that there might be a different energy within the group. So as liaison or not as liaison, I will be attending as a resident, as I've always maintained. I am a volunteer, my friends. I am a resident of Freeport, and I volunteer my time. I do not get paid beyond the $175 that's gifted to us every month. But make no mistake about it, I will be involved in the downtown Main Street Board just as much as I try to be involved in every element of Freeport that I feel is important for our city to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, anything further from anybody else?
Ms. Clark.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Clark. You do have time.
Connor Clark, 411 Sailfish. On this downtown Main Street board, we're losing like three members. And this is what we just voted to spend, how much money, Ms. Easel, on for this UTSA plan? I mean, this is ridiculous. We spend all this money, and we don't even have people that will serve. Yet we're spending a bunch of money to get this plan from the college that, how much money did they?
Address us, please.
It was 90,000.
Address us.
70,000.
Yeah.
70,000 that we were spending at the University of Texas, San Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
And now we have people that won't even serve on the board. So how is that productive to the city or the Main Street?
Well, it seems to me they want to get productive members on there that will show up to work, and a council liaison that will work. So, Ms. Clark, it looks like they're trying to address those issues.
And when was the last plan done? It was done in just a few years ago, and they didn't do that either. So it's just a money pit to go on and on and on.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, any further question or comments?
Mayor, I've got a comment.
Yes, sir.
These boards that we have are very important to the city, and I can appreciate the fact that the Main Street, amongst themselves, made the decision and brought it to council. A couple years ago, we did it just the opposite to the EDC, where we brought it to council without going through the EDC first, and I feel like we got it wrong in doing it that way, and I feel like the Main Street did it the proper way this time.
All right, sir. Anything else?
Mayor, two last things. I'm curious if the Main Street had actually communicated with the other two board members about their removal at any level. But I'm also curious if there are any other changes within Main Street in terms of board members or staffing. Are we going to reevaluate the vitality of that organization? We leave that as a rhetorical question. Thank you.
All right, very good. So we have a motion on the floor. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Item carried 4-0. Actually, Councilman Vinnie, you couldn't vote because it included you on that motion, so therefore your vote is not counted. So 4-0 pass. Item number 5, consideration of possible action approving resolution number 2023-2827, appointing 2 new members and a new liaison to the Historical Commission and Main Street Board. Mr. Petty.
Yes, sir. Staff recommends approval of the proposed resolution to appoint 2 new qualified individuals to the Freeport Historical Commission and Main Street Advisory Board and a new city council liaison. The Freeport Historical Commission and Main Street Advisory Board is seeking to fill 2 positions with qualified applicants. The terms for these 2 positions are unexpired. Position 1 will expire May 31st, 2024. Position 2 will expire May 31st, 2025. 2 applications were received. The 2 applicants currently serve on the Freeport Main Street Economic Vitality Subcommittee.
All right.
Is Miss Edith Fisher is one. And if Ms. Fisher's not here, I'll read you what she sent in. She said, I am the Director of Tourism for the Brazosport Area Chamber of Commerce's Convention and Visitors Council. I have over 20 years' experience successfully promoting the Brazosport area as a tourism and destination. Freeport is an integral part of making the Brazosport area a point of interest for visitors. The Freeport Main Street program has the potential to draw visitors to Freeport with its location near the river and the beach. I currently serve as the president of the Texas Independence Trail Region, which is under the Texas Heritage Trails program of the Texas Historical Commission. This relationship with the State Historical Commission can be helpful with the Main Street program. And the second candidate is Jesse Glatz. Says current member of Main Street Economic Vitality Subcommittee. Real estate broker, investor with commercial experience. Network served on Lake Jackson Charter Review, part of strategic plan and master plan. Took part in workshops for downtown revitalization and various other boards and commitments and committees. Those are the two candidates.
All right, do I have a motion?
Ms. Odom.
I'm also on a Main Street subcommittee, but I did not have the opportunity to apply for those two positions. This is the first time I've heard that.
Same here. I have not heard about this at all.
I'm on the design subcommittee, but I would like to apply. This is the very first. I thought usually y'all advertise positions.
Well, Main Street may have done this, advertised this position, so, you just got back from Dubai. I don't know when you got back, but you just got back. But you can certainly make your...
Two ladies don't live here in Freeport. Is that a factor? Either lady lives in Freeport.
Not on the Main Street.
But I think I and others that are very interested in on these subcommittees should have an opportunity to apply for these two
Sure,
positions.
and I think you made your verbal nomination. And I think that your credentials outweigh yourself, so I think that you're a fine addition, and I would add Miss Melanie Odom as a person of interest for this position.
I make a motion that we table this and extend the invitation to the public at least to the next meeting.
We have a motion to table this. Is there a second? Is there a second? Hearing none, motion fails. Is there another motion?
Mayor, I'm going to make a motion to appoint Miss Melanie Oldham to the term that expires on May 31st of 2024, and Miss Edith Fisher to the term that expires May 31st of 2025.
All right, there's a motion to appoint Miss Melanie Odom to the first position that expires May 31st, 2024, and Miss Edith Fisher on May 31st, 2025. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Is there a second? All right, we have a second from Councilman Kane. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. 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 All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried 4-1. Councilman Pena is the nay vote. Thank you, sir. Item number 6, discussion and possible action of agreed sale price for parcel 1 and parcel 2 for $71,600 for Mrs. Lucy Ware.
I'm sorry, Mayor, before we go to that, Ms. Ware, if you don't mind having a seat, please. Are we going to discuss the council liaison portion of that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Councilman Morris. We need a council liaison, a new council liaison to the Main Street Board. Do I have a volunteer?
Mayor, I'll volunteer for it.
All right, we have a volunteer from Councilman Kane to be the liaison, which is a non-voting position on this board. And there you have it. Thank you, sir. Very good. Now, number 6, discussion and possible action. Thank you, Councilman. Of agreed sale price for parcel 1 and parcel 2 for $71,600 for Lucy Ware. Miss Ware. And would you please fill out a form too as well?
Oh, okay. Right
Thank
now?
you. No, you can do it after.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Lucy Ware, 344 Timber Creek Drive, Lake Jackson. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Lance, for promptly calling me back and responding to my email so promptly. I'm not used to that. But I was coming because I wanted to see about asking council to renegotiate the price of the property. It's been a little over 2 years, and I still haven't closed on it. The price was $71,600 due to the appraisals. But I've been working with Doyle Wassetter for this survey, and y'all did have the survey done with them. But it's come to my attention that this is still under the Velasco Drainage District. This portion of the Front Street that I was purchasing from the city, or supposed to be purchasing from the city. So now we need to find out how to get that in the city of Freeport's name, so then it can turn into, so I can purchase it. With that being said, I do have the survey, because I don't think last time I came here, I was able to show y'all how wide the BWA easement is. And this has it on here, so y'all can see how wide it is and how much it takes up of the property. Can I pass this around?
Yes, ma'am.
We're still not 100% sure if that is a buildable lot due to that. I'm told by different engineers that I might have to build up to 20 feet away from there. I know that Mr. Mejia's property, he hasn't built yet, but I know that his driveway is not that far from it, but I know as far as building a home, I'm not sure how far I will have to build away from there. So that's the main thing, and then also it took a while for everything to come together, and now I'm dealing with another problem right before we get ready to close. So I wanted to make an offer of see if y'all'd accept $45,000 for that property. There's a BWA easement on the property. The deed does not, as far as the deed that I have, it does not match the title commitment, and it doesn't match the survey. So that's been an issue.
All right, anything else? Anything else, ma'am?
No, I'd just like to see if y'all vote on that tonight.
Well, I don't know if it's going to get a vote tonight.
Well, could y'all make me a counter?
I don't know if we're going to make you a counter.
Okay, so what are y'all gonna do?
Well, right now, we have a contract that says $71,600, so
Yeah,
right,
but the description's not correct on it.
we'll have to take a look at that. So that's some of the things we'll have to take a look
Do
at.
you know how long it'll take?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. But don't leave yet.
okay.
Council, have any questions on this?
I would like to know if legal has had a chance to look at this.
Briefly, but I kind of mentioned to the mayor just now that, I mean, if, obviously you didn't put any earnest money down, I mean, if we need to walk away from this agreement, fine, but we'll take a hard look at the property description to make sure it's accurate. You have my email, so please send me the survey, and you mentioned the deed didn't seem to
So
match
it's the
it.
deed that y'all have, the deed that you gave me, that deed doesn't match.
Okay.
So that's the portion we need to fix to match.
Well,
the survey.
Mayor, I'd say at this point, there's really nothing to do other than take a look at it. If there's a recommendation at the staff level that we need to reduce the actual square footage that's being proposed to be sold by the city, it would need to reflect the price per square foot of the appraisal at that point, or we could have another appraisal done if that's
Well,
what you...
actually, the thing is, it's going to be more property. If y'all don't actually own part of the portion y'all are trying to sell me, it belongs to Velasco Drainage District. So Velasco Drainage District, I guess, needs to deed it to you, then deed it to me, or are they gonna deed it straight to me? Because that's part of
We'll
the
just have
property
to
you're
take a
trying to
look at
sell.
it.
Okay, thank you.
I have another question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ware, you mentioned a 20-foot setback restriction.
Yes.
Where did you learn of that? And where
When
did
I
you see
learned
that?
I've been talking to the engineer, Sal Gary, he's been helping me a lot.
So that's from BWA saying that there's a
He
20-foot
said it could be up to 20-foot setback
setback?
from the BWA, from the easement.
So
There's about 15 foot of the easement. You can see that when they pass it around.
So from the edges of that easement?
Mhm.
Okay. How wide is that easement? 15 feet, you said? So you'd be losing,
Well, if I have to go 20, I don't know for sure, but if I'd have to build away 20 feet, then I'll lose 20 feet.
on either side?
on, yes, on one side. So then it becomes a 20-foot lot
Right.
by 125.
And so you would lose, of the total width is 125?
Actually, wait, it would become a 40-foot lot by 125, because right now it's a 60-foot lot.
So what the city's been trying to convey to you or sell to you has been 60 feet wide?
A little over 60 feet.
Oh, no, 120
No, it's 125 length.
Length?
Width.
Okay, so the easement would go, not length?
Width, it'll
would
go width, yes. So I'm gonna build to the width, not to the length, right, so
That
it'll be
wouldn't leave
20
you
feet
very-
over.
So 60 minus
So for
the
instance,
20,
this is the
40, and the 15?
BWA, then I would have to be 20 feet over from it,
And so from that edge, from that BWA to the end of the property is 60 feet?
yes.
Okay. Well, we have 25-foot lots, but I know that's not what we're
Right,
shooting
so
for.
we're on the
Yeah.
25-foot lots now that they're building on, and the houses haven't sold.
No further questions, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ware, you want this back?
Yes, please.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to item number 7, consideration and possible action approving the agreement for consent to encroachment between property owner Pamela Dancy and the city of Freeport, Lance Petty. But we also have one person that wants to speak, I think, Desiree Pearson. Ms. Ware, if you'll fill out the form, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Desiree Pearson on Front Street. I just wanted to say before you consider whatever you're going to do about number 7, to keep in mind that Pam Dancy's carport has been on city property for the last 15 years, and she knew it because she had her own survey, which she wouldn't share with the city. She made them pay for another one. But also that if you started giving residents pieces just because they built over on city property, where would you stop of giving? I mean, because if I had it, then I would say, if you gave it to Pam, you got to give it to me. And I just wanted to call that to your attention before you made a decision, because it looks like it's going to open a can of worms to me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If you fill out a form, please.
Yes, sir. I'm Pam Dancy. Good evening, council. Just for correction, I actually never knew that. Thank you, that it was on city property whatsoever.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Dancy, don't go too far. I'm going to ask you some questions,
Yes, sir.
but I'm going to let the mayor continue. I just want you.
All right.
I don't want you to go too far because I do want to ask you a few questions.
Oh, certainly. Okay.
Very good. Well, let's go ahead and have some questions.
I'm back.
Councilman Morris?
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Dancy, for being here. I do have a couple of questions as to the changes. I wasn't here last meeting, but I did ask our city manager, Mr. Petty, for the changes that you requested in the contract, or the agreement, not contract, the agreement. And the item in section 2, where you state necessary, and then necessary future infrastructure improvements are defined as infrastructure improvements approved by written resolution by a majority vote of the city council, specifically pertaining to the right-of-way adjacent to owner's property described in Exhibit A, with a specific finding in said resolution by the city council that the improvements cannot be completed without removal of the encroachment. And then the next sentence, it would stay somewhat the same, but there was an add, but I'll read the entire sentence. Owner or its successors and assigns shall, at their sole expense, cause the removal or alteration of such encroachment within 30-day notification by certified mail, that, and this is the add right here, that the city council has approved the necessary future infrastructure improvement, along with a copy of the past city council resolution to that effect. Why did you add that in here?
Actually, I had an attorney add that, he reworded that for me, the language. Now, George,
have you seen, you know where the carport is?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, I do.
It's been there for 14 years or 15, all right? It went before getting a permit, getting the okay on it. I personally didn't do it, my ex-husband did, Larry, which is deceased. Now, Mother has had that property forever, and every tree that's there we planted, right? So the carport, when Mother passed away, I put the carport just right there. It's just a corner of it, just the corner of it that's on city property. Now, if if the city manager, Mr. Petty, if they're coming in there to work on that ditch, then heck yeah, because that would benefit me because of my flooding. I am an easygoing lady. I will move it. But because of getting a code violation off of an upset citizen that is just attacking another citizen, then I need to protect myself as well. And so, I mean, this goes into, the flooding and so forth, and I don't want to get into that tonight. The thing is that it is grandfathered in, yes. If you're going to work on that ditch for some strange odd reason, then yeah, I will move it, but I would like to know ahead of time that it's actually going to be done. Because to tell you the truth, and I hate to say this, and I'm getting nervous, I have lost a lot of confidence, okay, over this. Because Mr. Kelty has lived 3 houses down from me, and he has seen me flood over and over and over for 5 years that he's been here. Mr. Petty is the only one that has ever helped me with anything as far as that flooding situation. And it's a terrible thing. So I get a code violation on something that's been there for 14 years that I had no idea, honestly, that it was a foot over, okay? And when I got the code violation and them giving me 14 days to remove it, I thought, well, this is kind of crappy after I've been waiting for years because excuse my language, because of my flooding. But the whole thing is that if Mr. Petty comes up with some architectural design, some engineering plan that's going to benefit the drainage, then I would like it to come before council and say, yes, Ms. Dancy, this is the plan, and you need to move it. And I'll go, great, that's not a problem. But I'm here tonight because of a citizen that decided to get back at me, which is okay. I have no malice against them. I would just like to get this behind us, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question as to why you want the city council. Because, and I'm looking at it this way.
Okay.
You always come up here and you say principles before personalities.
Correct.
The principle of it is your carport is in the city easement.
14 years.
We did not put it there.
Correct.
And so it comes down to where you want council to bend over for you by putting a majority vote on a necessary project for something that you have done incorrectly.
No, sir. No, sir.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what you just said.
No, sir. I do not want y'all to bend backwards from the majority.
You're just telling us to, with that line that I just read. You want us to have a city council vote on a project just so where we can have you move, you said a foot?
Yes, sir, it's a foot over the corner.
Foot. And so, but that's what I'm saying. You're wanting us to bend over for you when you're in the wrong.
George, Mr. Matamoros, look, if you all continue, look, I'm about to blow up here. I'm not in the freaking wrong. Yes, it was put up 13 years ago. This is not right.
No, I'm just asking.
You're telling the citizen you're in the wrong? I don't like that.
Well, okay.
May I say one thing? Carla Clark, 411 Sailfish. The survey that she had was different from the survey that was done recently by the city. That is one thing there that I think everybody needs to know. It's a different survey, so.
Mayor, may I approach the
Yes, Mr. Casal, if you'll fill out a form, please, sir.
same subject? I really hate to see anyone in the city put up with issues like this. This should have been handled a long time ago. Number one, that levy should be, the Corps of Engineers, not the Corps of Engineers, but the Drainage District has an obligation to get involved with this.
Mr. Casal, this is not talking about drainage at this time. This is talking about the carport being on the city's property. So this doesn't have anything to do with drainage
Okay,
tonight.
thank you, okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
But I just hate to have people so nervous.
Sure, no, I agree. I agree.
And Mayor, and the residents, I'm trying to look at what's best for the entire city. If we add unnecessary addendum or portion to this section, then everybody else down the line will want it. So I'm looking out for the residents of Freeport as a whole, and I don't think it's necessary to have that added. If it was removed, I would be fine with the agreement. Unfortunately, Ms. Dancy left, so I don't know how we can proceed.
Mr. Olson, how do we fix this?
Well, I can say this, there was a couple statements made that probably need to be corrected. First being, you can't grandfather encroachments into city rights of way. There's no exercise of adverse possession against public property. The city has absolute and complete control over its rights of way. Even putting language in this that says you have to declare something a necessary future improvement, which you would do through the normal approval of a project. This extra step, even if you didn't do it, wouldn't deter or in any way remove the city's ability to deal with, absolutely with the improvements in the right-of-way. So I think we put this language in there because she added it, and she asked that it be brought to council this way. You obviously saw the language that was added, and you take that language out, and really you kind of have the same thing at the end of the day. I know I'd be happy to sit down with Pam and explain that to her or her attorney, but ultimately, all this does is give her the right to allow that improvement to stay because it's been there for a while. And if we ever have to do any work in there, then she's going to have to remove it at her expense. That's what it was without the language. This extra step, yes, I mean, I'm not saying I necessarily support it because I don't, because I think it's unnecessary, but legally, I think it doesn't change the city's position, its ability to have absolute control over its rights of way.
So, let me get that right. Then you're saying that legally, then, the city can, without a majority resolution, vote of the city council, do work on that property if needed?
Well, it would require a majority vote of council to approve the project that was in that right-of-way. So you are essentially approving by a majority vote of council any work to be done in that little stretch of the drainage ditch anyways. If it necessitated the removal, I mean, we're talking about it looks like a 2.5 foot encroachment into the, I don't know how wide this easement is, this drainage easement, but I mean, Lance, I'll defer to you on, as a practical matter, if we were to do work in that ditch, would we have to remove that section of the carport?
Yes, any major work that would take place in that ditch, it would have to be moved to get the equipment in there. I will say it's not a permanent structure.
Yeah.
I looked at it, and it's
It's a
not-
carport.
It's
I mean,
it's carport, it's got some rebar drove through the legs, and it can be easily moved.
So I'm not going to get involved in, whether you should or should not allow for this. It's just something a city can do is permit these types of encroachments with the understanding that you can't bind a future council, and we cannot sell away or otherwise give a property interest in city rights of way. There's a whole process for that, and this is not it.
So, what are you saying?
This is just a temporary Band-Aid. It allows her to keep the improvement until we need to do work. That's all a consent to encroachment is.
Okay. So what do you think about the necessary future
I
infrastructure?
don't care for the additional language because I think it confuses the fact that you cannot, by filing something of record, a majority of council, give a property interest, which this would do, in public rights of way.
So you're saying you're okay with the consent to encroachment if we remove that language?
If you remove the added necessary future infrastructure improvement language that was read out earlier, correct? In the reference to it in the second sentence.
So we have to send a response back to Ms. Dancy for her legal to respond to our...
You can, or, this is a unilateral act. So you as a body either consent or don't. It doesn't require their approval. Yeah, as a courtesy, absolutely. And if we want to, I'd be happy to have a conversation with the individual she referenced. I have not. I haven't even talked to Pam about this. So I'd be happy to if you want to table it.
Yep, let's table it.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second from Councilman Kane. This item number 7 will be tabled with the understanding that you'll get with Ms. Dancy and her counsel.
I will.
And work on getting that language removed. I'm okay with the consent to encroachment, but I agree with Mr. Matamoros on the
Yes, sir.
language. All right, consideration and possible action approving Resolution 2023-2828, designating signatories of city bank accounts. Ms. Kathy Ezell.
You need a microphone?
Yeah, sorry. Easier and take less time.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
This resolution is a resolution that's brought forward because the authorized signatories for Texas Gulf Bank account requires updating and reflecting the staffing changes. This resolution will add Lance Petty, interim city manager, Ashley Ferguson, financial analyst, as signatories on the bank account, along with maintaining myself and Mayor Bass as signatories on the bank account. By having 4 signatories, there is a backup for the city manager and the finance director in case having the backup signer is necessary.
All right, so hearing that, is there a motion to be made?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve agenda item number 8.
We have a motion from Councilman Kane to approve agenda item number 8. Is there a second?
And I'll second that motion, Mayor.
Second from Councilman Matamoros. Any discussion?
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, so who will be the 2 new signatories?
The 2 new signatories are going to be Lance Petty and Ashley Ferguson, because our policies state that you have a management representative and a finance representative. So in this case, when we lost Mr. Kelty, Mr. Bass, since Mr. Kelty was, the date Mr. Kelty was put on administrative leave, Mayor Bass has been manually signing all of the checks for the management side.
And I hate to sign checks.
I know you do, and I have a stack for you to sign after the meeting tonight. And right now, the way it is, there is no backup if something were to happen to me. So Ms. Ferguson is the financial analyst, and she is my second in command if I am out, or if I have to be out for an extended amount of time, or if something happens to me and I'm no longer here. There is no financial backup, and she would be that financial backup. It's being proactive rather than reactive.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor on the motion, say aye. 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 All opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Item number 9, consideration and possible action approving resolution number 2023-2829, amending designated signatories of the city tax pool account. Ms. Ezell.
Again, this is like the Texas Gulf. This is an investment account that the city has with Texpool. It also requires a resolution to change the signatories, again, adding Mr. Petty and Ms. Ferguson.
All right. Hearing that, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion approved from Councilman Matamoros. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second from Councilman Kane. Any further discussion?
Mayor, I just want to clarify again, the two signatories are the same, Mr. Petty and Ms. Ferguson.
Yes, those are the additions.
Thank you.
Except on this, the mayor just has a inspection
An inspection.
signatory. I mean, I can't sign to release any money or anything.
No, that is correct. This would just be the city staff.
What does the inspection mean?
That
I can
means
take a
he-
look at it if I want to see what's going on. Which I can tell you, I've done it a whole bunch.
Thank you.
All right? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Item carried 4-1. Councilman Pena is a nay vote. Item number 11, consideration, item number 10. What? 10? Okay, thank you. Consideration of possible action approving resolution 2023-2830 to amend Texas Class Authorized Representatives. Ms. Ezell.
This would be the Texas Class Investment Pool. The signatories that would be added would be Mr. Petty and Ms. Ferguson, and Mayor Bass would have an inquiry just as in Texas, same as in Texas.
Which I already have.
Yes, sir, which you already have.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item number 10.
Have a motion from Councilman McCain to approve item number 10, which is resolution number 2023-2830. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Councilman Rosso. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried 4-1. Councilman Pena is a nay vote. Item number 11, consideration and possible action to approve the windstorm insurance policy renewal. Ms. Ezell.
This is the TWIA windstorm renewal. The renewal is coming in at $84,332. This is no change in the rate over last year. So we're recommending approving the renewal of the windstorm on various buildings through TWIA.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion that we approve agenda item number 11.
All right, a motion from Councilman Rosso to approve agenda item number 11, which is the approval of the windstorm insurance policy renewal. Is there a second?
And I'll second that motion, Mayor.
We have a second from Councilman Matamoros. Any further discussion?
I have a quick question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Zell, was the premium raised from the previous year?
No, it was the exact same
All right.
premium,
Thank you. The same coverage or expanded coverage?
same coverage.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, no, we added the library back on. So last year, the library had lost its coverage, and this year the library is being added on because we've made all the repairs to the library, so the library is now being covered again. So we're actually adding an additional building for the same cost.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, all those in favor say aye. 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 All opposed? Motion carried unanimously, 5-0. Item number 12, consideration and possible action approving ordinance number 2023-2714 for budget amendment number 2 for fiscal year 2024. Ms. Ezell.
This proposed budget amendment will fund the $160,000 of overages to the fire station. It will roll the fueling station that we approved last year. I rolled removing the old fueling station, but not the construction of the fueling station. And then when we did the budget amendment, the FMP kitchen remodel was put in equipment versus the facilities and grounds, so this corrects that. So that's what this budget amendment does.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know what the final and total cost of the FMP kitchen was.
Okay, Carla, come up here and ask it in the mic. Oh, she's got the mic. I'm sorry. No. Go over there to the mic. You're right. I just want to make sure it's on the record. Thank you.
Oh, you wanted me to take it back up there?
No, you can sit there and just ask your question so we can get it on the record.
Okay, Carter Clark, 411 Sailfish. FMP kitchen, what was the total cost of that?
We have not finished the renovations yet on the kitchen, so we don't have the final and total cost yet. But the budget amendment was for $40,000.
So that's what's going to be approved, if it's just approved, it's $40,000?
It was already approved, it was just put in the equipment account versus the facilities account fund.
right, thank you, ma'am. Any further questions or comments? And I don't know if I've asked for a motion or not. I will ask for a motion to approve.
Mayor, I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Councilman Kane to approve. Is there a second?
And I'll second that motion.
We have a second from Councilman Madam Morris. Any further discussion on agenda item number 12?
Yeah, Mayor, I'll just reiterate, as I stated in the previous agenda item, that I'm hoping that contract comes back to the council so that we can look at the final numbers.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Item number 13, consideration of possible action approving ordinance number 2023-2715 for budget amendment number 3 for fiscal year 2023. Ms. Ezell.
In obtaining all the invoices for 2023, after everything's been processed, there were a couple of departments that were over by just a little bit. Information and technology, $1,000, fire, $1,000, building, $500, senior citizens committee, $200, the library, $3,100, and golf, $16,000, for a total of $21,800. And I'm moving that from administration and building maintenance, where we estimated a little bit more than was necessary. So it's just to clean up those last few things that after I've processed all invoices for the year to cover those departmental shortages.
And the net effect will be zero on the budget?
The net effect is zero.
All right, very good, thank you. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve item number 13, approving the ordinance number 2023-2715 for budget amendment number 3. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second.
Have a second from Councilman Rosso. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion carried 4-1. Councilman Pena is a nay vote. Work session, the city council may deliberate and make inquiry into any item specifically listed subsection on the itemized sections A through H below. Councilman Pena, Ward A announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who came out in attendance tonight, who spoke out truthfully. Secondly, I'd like to also thank all of those that attended the 55-plus Christmas party this morning. I am actually the liaison for the seniors, and I also, for the record, missed the last couple of meetings. But, as usual, I continue to strive to promote what I believe is an important part of our Freeport community. I hope more of our neighbors that are 55-plus join our monthly gatherings in 2024. They're fun, and it's a really good group. Lastly, as I've said before, you don't need to like me or agree with me, but you will find me where the truth is. Additionally, as many have witnessed, I don't mince words or try to remember any lies that I don't tell. So to be clear, I recommend consider the source of any lies that are told about me. That said, I want to also mention that I agree with the citizens that came up that asked for additional audits and new processes for our procurement processes, and I hope that we get that on the agenda for the next meeting, as well as the discussion of the CFO's role in the Covarrubias wire that was the grounds for the dismissal for the city manager. Lastly, I'd like to make sure that we make a motion that for executive session that we include our wonderful police chief. Thank you.
All right, well, now is not the time to make the motion, but okay. So, Councilman Kane, Ward B.
Mayor, I too would like to thank those that showed up tonight, and for those that are watching on, I don't know if it's Facebook or YouTube, whatever we're on this week. This is the last meeting of the year, and I'd like to take a moment and wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year's. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Councilman Madam Morris.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank the residents who attended in person and viewed residents who spoke during citizens' comments and agenda items. I would also like to thank our first responders for the fabulous parades throughout the city this past week. To see the children's faces light up was priceless. So once again, thank you to our Freeport Fire, Freeport EMS, and Freeport Police Departments. Job well done. Lastly, I would like to wish all residents and city employees a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I am expecting some great things for Freeport in 2024. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Rosso?
I also would like to thank all the citizens for coming out tonight. I attended the senior citizen banquet this morning, and it was well attended. I think the parade that came right by my house about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, scared the devil out of me. Somebody said I had the devil in me, but that parade kind of scared the devil out of me. I welcome all you citizens that have positive things to say about the city of Freeport, because I love Freeport. I'll always love Freeport. I ride around Freeport because I'm a retired employee. I don't work anymore for money. Money comes to me. And I ride around and I see employees working. I see jobs being done. The city looks a whole lot better than it did, say, 5-10 years ago. I'm a resident of this city for the last 71 years, and it's a nice place to live. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Petty?
Yes, sir. The wastewater treatment plant, we're still working with Freeze and Nichols and GLO to reduce the scope and look for additional funding. The wastewater collection line replacement is 25% complete. They're going to be bringing in some additional staff to additional crews to help speed the process up so they can catch up on their timelines. And we've got the engineering firms. We went out for qualifications. We received those, and we've got it cut down to 3 finalists for new engineering firms, and we'll be setting those meetings up to let them give their presentations.
Freeze and Nichols is no longer going to be our engineering service provider, correct?
Correct.
All right, anything else, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Well, I would also like to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I am looking forward to a good 4 months in January. So that's 8 meetings, maybe some more special meetings, we'll see. But I've enjoyed it. Hope you all have enjoyed it. We've agreed, we've not agreed, we have argued, we have not argued, we have done a lot of different things, but I like to think that Freeport is moving in the right direction, that we have done things as your city council to improve the lives of the citizens of Freeport. I don't care what people say, and they can get up here and say whatever they want, because it's, well, within reason, because it's not a freedom of speech situation with the Constitution. There are some limitations on it, so, but nobody's violated them yet. But, you know, I think that we've done a good job. I think that we have made a choice in this city, and we are following through with that choice, and we are doing what we can do to protect our citizens and to protect our workers. With that, I will now let us go into executive session. Well, no, Councilman Penny, you have a motion, sir?
Yes, in light of the actions that were taken on the June 5th meeting of this year, I'd like to make sure that we include the city chief of police, Chief Howell, in executive session.
All right, so we have a motion from Councilman Pena to include Chief Howell in executive session. Is there a second? Is there a second? Hearing none, motion fails. I'd like to make a motion that we include Lance Petty as well as Rick Navarro, our attorney advising us with the Brass Tacks lawsuit, and anybody else that I can think of. Rick, you by yourself? Yes, sir. Okay. All right, so that's my motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion,
We
Mayor.
have a second from Councilman Adam Morris. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried unanimously, 5-0.
No.
Executive, pardon me?
Nay.
All right, sorry. Carissa, it's not 5-0, as I said, it's 4-1. Councilman Pena voted nay. Executive session regarding A, deliberations about real property pursuant to Section 551.072 Texas Government Code, to hear presentation, discuss Velasco School. B, personnel matters, to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, appointment of city manager Lance Petty pursuant to Section 551.074. C, consultation with attorney pursuant to Section 551.071 Texas Government Code to consult with legal counsel on the lawsuit styled and numbered City of Freeport versus Bragtex Development LLC et al., cause number 120329-CV, 149 Judicial District